Hey everybody, Tim Rosgany here with another Wounded and Wonderful video. And today I'm going to share with you a short little phrase that I think will make your life easier and simpler. And I will get to that in a minute or two. There is what I'll call a misconception, I think, in the world of recovery and healing, that there's a finish line. For lack of a better way to put it. There's a point that we will reach, that we can reach, where we will be healed, where we will no longer be subject to being reactive to things, where we will fix all those things that we've identified about ourselves as things we don't like, or flaws, or wounds, or damage, whatever you want to call it. And what I want to say is, that's not totally true. There is no finish line. One of my favorite phrases is always healing, never healed. And by that I mean, for myself, I will spend the rest of my life learning how to love myself and accept myself. And no matter how much work I do, and no matter how badly I want to be free of all my so-called defects or imperfections, I will find myself, like I did today, thinking about things, and my ego gets in the way. And my ego comes up, and I start to think about ways I want to control a situation. And I realize that I'm not going to I don't want to just beat myself up every time something happens that reminds me that I still am, I still have these things that kick up inside me. I still get triggered by stuff. I still have, wounds from way back when. And that's okay. And that's my magic phrase. And that's okay. So it can be easier to look at, I think, when you think about it in terms of other people and other things in this world, because I'm telling you, if there's anything in this world that we can't control, it's other people. And even though we want to be able to fix things, sometimes you just have to accept that something is what it is. So if, for example, you didn't get what you needed from your father. You didn't get the love and affection that you needed. And your father happens to still be around. And you keep trying. You keep wanting it. And it's a wound that is so deep and young, and it doesn't heal. And one approach, though, is to, instead of, keep going for something that you can't control. You can't force another person to do something. So you could say, yeah, my father's never going to give me what I want. He's never going to give me the love that I deserve today. And that's okay. And that's not meant to say it's not okay in the sense of, oh, well, all's forgiven, bygones. No, it's a way of releasing yourself and releasing that other person. It's a way of letting go of that desire to make something so, to make it the way you want. And it's an acknowledgement of the limitations that we have as human beings. We can't control other people. We can't control life. We can't control things around us. And the more we want to and the more we try, the more needless suffering we will endure. And I know that, for example, uncertainty is so difficult to deal with. There is a part of me, and I think there's a part of you, that deeply wants to know what's going to happen. And when I am caught up in uncertainty, I can be very, very triggered, very upset. And it's like, I want to know, and I want to make it turn out the way I want. And that desire is very human. And it's kind of funny because We don't have that level of control over life. We're not God. We're not perfect. We can't make things go the way we want. We can, to some degree, control our own responses and our own reactions. That's the area where we have control. And even then, there are things and responses inside us that will simply happen because it's deeply ingrained in us, and it's been that way forever. And if you spend the rest of your life trying to fix those, you're going to just frustrate yourself endlessly. So what I'm suggesting is learn to accept things you cannot change. So my brother's never going to apologize to me for how abusive he was when we were kids. And that's okay. My husband, my wife, is not going to be as affectionate as I want them to be. And that's okay. And I'm not trying to suggest that you accept everything, because here's the other piece. There are some things in life that are not okay. My boss is really mean, and that's not okay. And I'm going to go look for another job. So it all depends on the situation. But in each case, the awareness is you can't control other people. You can't control life. So practicing acceptance by saying, and that's okay. Add that phrase onto something that bothers you. One of those things that, is really troubling to you, that causes you anxiety. And see what happens. I know it sounds simple, but, give it a try. Understand that you have no control over other people and things. You have some control over yourself. And there are things inside you that you're not going to fix, and that's not the goal. Please understand that the goal is to accept yourself and love yourself, even though you have wounds, even though there are things that bother you, even though you sometimes lose your temper or you get impatient or you want to control things. And when you learn to accept that about yourself, you actually open up the door to being able to do better next time. Because you may not be able to control some of the reactions inside you that come, because they will come. But you can choose the actions you take. And there's a big difference there. And when you see things and you accept stuff about yourself instead of fighting it, say, oh, okay, gee, I see what I did there. I'm reacting from that place. Ooh, I don't like that. But you know what? It's okay. And now that I know that, I can make a better choice. The behavior, the act that I choose, doesn't have to be guided by the woundedness or the reaction that's old and familiar and frustrating as hell. So, all right, I think that is the best I can do. I hope that resonates for you. And before I forget, I want to remind you that you will see a link to my most recent video. There's also going to be a subscribe button showing up any second now. And in the description for this video, you will find information about a weekly recovery meeting. It's Monday nights at 7 p.m., not affiliated with any fellowship or anything. It is a Zoom meeting, and it's all about self-love and self-acceptance. You are welcome to join us anytime. So, again, as always, thank you for listening. I wish you well. Please be gentle with yourself, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care.